Seduced by a South Korean female agent, did the top Vietnamese general flee Seoul in a hurry? According to South Korean media, during dinner in Seoul on September 11th, Vietnamese Deputy Defense Minister General Huang Zhenzhen allegedly sexually assaulted a South Korean female official from the Ministry of Defense. However, the South Korean Defense Ministry waited 8 days to formally file the complaint and urged Hanoi to prevent similar incidents in the future. By that time, however, Vietnamese general had already left South Korea the very next day. Even stranger, it took more than a month for the story to finally appear in the South Korean media. A suspicious delay that made the whole case look murky. Vietnam responded through diplomatic channels saying it would prevent such incidents from happening again, but it did not issue a public apology or announce any disciplinary measures. General Chin himself faced no punishment. The South Korean side insists on its accusation but refuses to release details, saying it wants to protect the victim's privacy. So many believe the two governments failed to reach a behind-the-scenes deal, promoting Seoul to leak the story in order to ruin Chin's political career. General Chen is in charge of Vietnam's military procurement, meaning he has a key say in which weapons Vietnam buys. And that, of course, involves huge sums of money. South Korea has been eager to sell its weapons to Vietnam and hopes to expand sales to include fighter jets and missile systems. This has fueled speculation that the incident was actually a honey trap or blackmail scheme orchestrated by South Korean intelligence, and that the female official involved may have been a covert agent. If the operation failed or negotiations broke down, Seoul might have exposed the story as retaliation. And this theory isn't groundless. Back in 2011, during an official visit by an Indonesian delegation inspecting South Korea's T-50 training jets, the Korean National Intelligence Service sent agents to break into the delegation's hotel rooms at Seoul's Lotte Hotel to steal classified documents. Unfortunately for them, the Indonesian staff unexpectedly returned and caught the agents red-handed. The scandal was quietly buried, and yet in 2022, Indonesia still ended up buying the T-50I trainers. Given such precedent, it's not impossible that South Korea would resort to extreme tactics to secure arms sales. Since if the methods often seem clumsy, since Seoul has recently elevated defense exports to a national strategy, its motivation to take risks is higher than ever. And just a few days ago, South Korean President Lee publicly announced a plan to invest massive funds by 2030 to make South Korea the world's fourth largest defense exporter. But the numbers tell another story. Between 2020 and 2024, South Korea ranked only 10th among global arms exporters, and none of its companies made it into the top 20 global defense manufacturers. That explains Seoul's growing desperation, but realistically, the US will never allow South Korea to compete for its own weapons market, unless the Americans become the major shareholders and let South Koreans do the dirty work. Now, with the scandal, South Korea's plan seems to have backfired again. Whether Vietnam will still buy Korean weapons is now uncertain. Meanwhile, Vietnamese netizens have been furiously attacking South Korea online, saying things like Korea makes money by selling its women. Shameless! Oh, what do you think? Follow me on Eastern Perspective to see the world.